Hi everyone, welcome back to the 3D flood modeling using HEC-RAS model. So in the last video, we processed the land use and land cover data. However, while processing the soil data, it was taking too long time. So I thought we can just repeat the process one more time. So you already know, right, while preparing the rainfall data, that is called gridded precipitation. So what we used the HEC-8 boundary. So I thought, okay, we can prepare the land use data, soil data, and also infiltration layer for the entire HEC-8 as well. So you can see if I turn off my Google Hybrid, so that's the HEC-8 boundary, and that's the subbasin basically, HEC-8, and we have our HEC-12 here. We're preparing everything based on this boundary. So let me just turn it on, and like if I right click on that map layer, we need to process land cover layer. And if I click on the plus sign, and let me find it there. So I think we have the land use and land cover data inside this. Yeah, so you can see it's showing like the classes, and then the output class will be similar, almost similar. If there is any missing data, it is going to be the same. And we have 10 feet cell size as it is. And I just want to create, it will just create pretty quickly. Then we'll process soil, and then from soil and land cover data, will generate infiltration layer, and we'll assign the curve number by combining land use and soil classes. Since we're just preparing this data for HEC-8 level, that's why it's taking a while. So it's better to prepare everything for HEC-8. We have our rainfall data for HEC-8. Now we are preparing the land use and land cover data for the same HEC-8 level. And after that, we'll process soil data, because we downloaded the soil data from Sargo website, and that is in geodatabase format. Sometimes maybe it will take time for you, but you need to just check what is going on. Yeah, the soil data is the next step. We're done with land use and land cover. Just close it and let's see. It will just show you the output here. Let me turn off the map layer. Here, the background map, and I think, yeah, it's there. It should be there. Yeah, we can see it's basically even covering the entire HEC-8, and also we have some extra region here. The next step is to prepare the soil data from the geodatabase we have. Let me just right click on that map layer, and I'll just repeat the process. Create a new RAS layer. This time it's soils layer, and then go to that geodatabase. I have this for Texas, and if you don't find anything, you just need to change it to all files and go all the way to the bottom, and then you can see that GDB geodatabase, and then it will just load everything. It will prepare the data, and it will generate the polygon. So it's reading the table, and it has because multiple tables. So based on the geodatabase, it will just read and prepare the hydrologic soil group, soil class A, B, C, D, and A/B, B/D. So these are the things it will just prepare. But don't worry, we'll have the layer ultimately, and it will show you the same classes on left side and right side. If there is any missing data, it will also show you the same thing here. Yeah, maybe you see it's showing like it rejected due to some geometry issues. These are the number of cells, but yeah, still we can see. So sometimes whenever you will download the soil data, you can open it in GIS, and you can see there will be some missing like data set. So if you have any slash, any empty space in between any cell or any polygon in the soil data, it won't even process. Even if you click on create, it will show you error. And here you can see the red mark. So what you have to do is just double click on it and then remove that slash, and then do the same thing for other as well. So we know like this is C/D, but we can use CD. This is B/D. That particular cell of the zone or the location of the area is basically combinedly representing B and a D. So that's the reason. And we have 10 feet the same, and everything looks good. And here you can see it's hydrologic soil group. If I click create, it will just create. And it won't take that much time because it just need to generate the raster based on the hydrologic soil group and based on the window we have here. And also it will just create 10 feet by 10 feet raster. So we have the same cell size for both land use and soil. So the next step will be generating the infiltration layer. So we just need to make the combination in between land use and soil classes. So any cell could be densely populated with, like, it could be developed with C-class soil. It could be any class of soil, but at the same time, it could be open space or even water. So we need to assign the specific curve number for that combination. So at first, we'll just generate the combination, and then we'll use another script I've written to combine the land use and land cover and soil to find out the curve number, and we'll see. Yeah, in a while I'll share with that process, and if you want, you can repeat it. It is not that difficult thing. So at first you need to just find out we have to list, or you have to prepare the table. I'll explain it whenever it will be done. So just wait for a couple of seconds, and it won't take that much time. So these processes are pretty simple. That's why I encourage you to prepare the data for a larger area, and later on, anyone can use it. If someone is planning to set up a model for this part, they can use the same input file. So I'm just closing it. Automatically, this will be closed. And now we have our land use, land cover layer, and soil layer. So now it's time to combine these two layers to generate infiltration layer. So that's the loss method. So while creating the infiltration layer, we need to select a loss method. If it is going to be gradient or SCS curve number or any constant. Okay, so let me just right click on it again. And then here you can see, yeah, let me just make it a little bit bigger so that we can at least have the entire window for the land use and land cover. So whatever window you'll have, based on the current view, it will prepare this land use or soil, whatever process is going on. Based on the current view, it will just generate that layer. So that's okay. And let me just repeat the process. So here, I just right click on it and then create a new layer. And maybe it is taking a while to just refresh. Okay, just wait for a couple of seconds. And then this time, we just need to use this one. If we have that infiltration layer as shapefile, and if you already calculated separately, like as deficit constant, SCS curve number, green and amped, but here we're just gonna use infiltration layer from land cover and soil layer. That's what we have done here. And then you have to just identify from the drop-down list which method you are interested in. So we are going to use SCS curve number method as the loss method, and here land cover layer is going to be land cover. It's already there, and soil layer should be the soil layer. And here the time between rainfall event to re-establish initial loss and soil moisture, this should be 24 hours because we're going to use, right, the 24-hour accumulation we already saw in the second part of the tutorial series. If you miss it, you can go back and watch the video on how to generate gridded rainfall data for 2D flood modeling. So that's why we need to use 24-hour, because we use 24-hour accumulation, and then we just distributed the rainfall using temporal distribution factor from NRCS. If I click on create, it will just create a layer And if I turn off other layers, there won't be anything other than that infiltration, but the infiltration layer is empty. It just combined the land use, land cover, and soil. So that's why we need to specify the values. And here we need to process some extra data set using Excel and Python programming. So let me just share with you what we have inside that infiltration layer. So now your land use and land cover layers are not necessary. Yeah, so sometimes what I do, I even have different script in GIS, so I can even combine land use and land cover. I have already demonstrated that in my different tutorial series that is already there in the ArcGIS playlist. You can go and you can see. And I also have the video for HEC-RAS model as well. Okay, so infiltration layer, what we need to do, we need to right click and edit infiltration data table, and you can see we have this combination of land use, because sometimes we saw like we have no data value from land use and land cover and also from soil. So it combined and it's giving us only no data. Sometimes you have no data for land use, but you have soil classes. So these are the combination we have. So we just need to specify the curve number for this combination. If it is no data for land use, if it is D class, so what is going to be the curve number? If it is cultivated crop for land use and land cover, and if you have A class soil, so what is going to be the curve number? We have to identify all those curve numbers. So let me just share with you here, like I already have a lookup table for this curve number, and you can see that's the reference curve numbers. We have all the land use and land cover classes, and then I have here so all the soil classes. These are hydrologic soil group, and also A/D, and we are calling it AD because in the model we have this way. So all are identical to the model. And now we just need to combine all these things, because in the model we saw if it is open water and A class soil, so that's going to be the 99 value. If it is developed open space and D class soil, so that's going to be the curve number. So this is how we just need to combine. And if it is no data for land use and land cover, and if it is B/D for soil, then we have to assign 86. And similarly, we have reference Manning's roughness as well for different land use and land cover. We have these values. These are the references you can see and you can check. So within the channel means if you have main channel, you have to assign for open water this value 0.04. If it is developed open space, 0.035. So we have all the list here. And outside of the channel means if you have overbank and overland flow, then you need to just use these values. So based on our specific infiltration layer, we just saw here this combination, we need to find out the curve number and we need to fill it out. For Manning's roughness, we have to generate the Manning's calibration layer using the shapefile of the streams. In the next video, we'll see that. We need to generate a buffer zone for each of the streams, and then we'll assign it. So in the next tutorial, I'll show you how to use how to basically generate the Manning's how to assign Manning's roughness by using buffer zone based on the width of the river. We can use the 50 feet on both sides of the river, or even less than that. So we'll check and we'll assign that values. We have to generate buffer zone using the shapefile of the stream network, and then we can assign the roughness, but we have to prepare it. Okay, so what we have, so these are the like Manning's lookup. So based on our study area, whenever we'll generate our Manning's calibration region in the next tutorial, we can assign this. And so today's work is only here. So these are the combination for another project. So we have it, but it may not be similar, right? So we have to update. Let me just show you what is going on here. If I right click and open the attribute table, it's there. You can see this is not the same attribute table. First one is no data, that is okay. And second one is no data D. So these are all same, but sometimes you will find it a little bit different, right? So it may not be similar. See the last one, it's emergent herbaceous wetland, but here it's cultivated crop. So you can't even copy this series and you can't replace it here. So you have to update that. So let me just open it. And also I just need to copy this combination. And then I'll use my Python script to find out the value. I'm just copying it. You can use Control-C. And in the lookup, you just need to replace. You can use Control-V. So it already replaced, and you can see the last one is this. Yeah, so I already updated. See, we're not, so it's even more than the previous series, right? Whatever series we have, it doesn't matter. And why we have extra column here, because whenever you'll calibrate the model, sometimes you need to increase your curve number either by 5%, 10%, 15%. So that's why you need to record it. So this first time you have to fill it up, and then whenever you will calibrate the model, even definitely I'll show you in the in different tutorial, but it will be at the end of the tutorial, right? Whenever we'll have the model running and then we'll start calibrating, then I'll show you how to do that. But first we have to assign the first value of the curve number using this lookup table. So let me just save it. Yeah, let me just save this one. And you can see there is no data for this one, and we'll replace everything. Okay, so I have written a Python script that will take this Excel file as input, and then it will just look through each of the cells, and it will do the same combination, and it will find out the value for perennial ice or snow and C-class, and it will assign that value here whenever it will match. So that's the thing I have to do. So let me just open the script and describe this script with you. So this script will basically prepare Manning's roughness, and it will do the same thing for this table as well. And in the model, whenever we'll update the model, and we'll see this, the sequence may be different. So we have to find out the value from these, and we have to assign these values so that we can directly copy and we can paste it in the model. Yeah. So so here we just need to locate where is your Excel file. So that Excel file I have right here, and then I'm just trying to close it because we'll work on it, and then we can replace those values, and we can even check what we have. So if I just run it at the end, it is kind of a little bit complicated, but yeah, at the end we can see, yeah, preparing Manning's and CN values. So let me just run it, and yeah, we already saved the model, right? Let me just check. I think we already saved it. Make sure that, okay, we saved it. Yes. So let me just run. Yeah, so it's updated this curve number table on this table, and successfully it updated the Excel file as well. So let me go back and open. See, it just saved now. Time is showing that it updated. So we can see the updated values here. The curve number, previously it was different. Now we can see it already filled everything after this. It basically prepared the combination and look for the values, and it assigned these values, and also here it updated this table as well. Yeah, so in the next tutorial I'll generate the Manning's calibration zone, and then we can use these. But right now we have this combination. So what we can do, we can directly just copy and we can paste it, because we just copied it from the model here. And yeah, so these are the same combination, and you can just paste it, right? So now we have the values matching. The last one is 93, 93, yeah. And abstraction ratio, we just use 0.2, but sometimes this is not actually 0.2. There is a way to calculate this abstraction ratio. So what we usually do, let me give you that equation. So we call it, yeah, so we just used 20%, but there is a term called initial abstraction. We just use that as 20% of storage. So we need to calculate like storage S using curve number. That storage is basically 1000 divided by curve number minus 10. 1000 divided by curve number, this curve number Cn, and then minus 10. So that's the equation to calculate basically retention or storage. And then you have that IA initial abstraction. That's basically 20% of S. So 0.2 multiplied by S. So this is what we do. So you can write an equation here, and then 1000 divided by this cell, and then minus 10, it will give you this retention in inches. This is of course in inches, and then just use 20% of this S, and you will have that initial abstraction. So these are the values. So instead of using or calculating anything, it will automatically do the job, but you need to just assign that, okay, we're using 20%. So the model already has the equation there. So we're not gonna use anything, but for HEC-SMS model, these are the inputs. So you need to prepare those. So if you have like more than 1000 columns or even rows, how can you do that? There is a way. You can just use fill it off, only the first cell, and then you can select the entire column and then just right click. I don't know if there is any way, but in HEC-SMS model, we have that capability to do that. So yeah, instead of doing that, you can just use 0.2, and then you can entirely create a series and copy, and then you can just select again and then paste. So that's it. And then you can save. Your infiltration layer is done. So this is for the entire study area, and also it is even larger than the study area basically. So the next step is to create Manning's roughness, and all, because we already have the roughness, so we'll just create the calibration zone and we'll assign, and then we'll start generating our 2D mesh and the boundary conditions, and then we'll connect our like boundary condition, inflow, everything, and then we'll run the model. So that's pretty much about the generation of infiltration layer from land use, land cover, and like soil Sargo dataset. And we already have our precipitation ready. The next time we'll create our Manning's calibration region, and then we'll download roadway data to refine the mesh, and also we'll process our stream as well. We'll do that together in the next tutorial. So that's all for now. So thank you so much. If you have any question, you can put it in the comment box. I'll try to answer a question. Thank you.